So got it. Okay, I think we got it. Oh, a year ago, I was responsible for getting different speakers for an organization that I am a part of. And I was told about a man who was an alumnus and director of a program called RTA, Rehabilitation Through the Arts. It is a program that offers theater and dancing and poetry and visual arts to people who are incarcerated in the state of New York. I know there are programs all throughout this country, but this one specifically is in the state of New York. And by their own description, RTA uses the transformative power of the arts to help people in prison develop skills to unlock their potential and succeed in a larger community. I'm going to share with you today, with the help of Lori, a video clip that is about 7 minutes and change from a larger documentary that was entitled Unlock. I think you'll see clearly that some of the parallels in their work and the work that we do here in our practice. So Lori, if you can play that for us, that would be great.
I'm born and raised in Queens.
I come from a working class in Queens.
I grew up on Long Island, and I would say that I had a normal childhood.
My mother, she worked at Cross County Hospital, and she used to put in very long hours. And so it was just me and my brother's home, and I became the father, big brother, you know, and providing for my brothers became like a everyday thing.
I drifted towards the streets.
I became a major drug trafficker at a very young age.
I was having some real family issues, children issues, work issues, and had an emotional breakdown and committed a serious crime.
I got incarcerated when I was very young. I was 17 years old.
Got 7 years flat for manslaughter in the first degree.
Going to a maximum security setting, you really prepare yourself for the worst.
It's like, stand over there, don't move, don't look at me, put your hands on the wall. So it's like a big place where everyone's pretty confused but robotic at the same time.
My first thoughts was, my God, how am I gonna do this? I was in Sing Sing Correctional Facility, I'm working out, and one of the guys, he says, listen, we're talking about putting together a theater program. I looked at him like, theater? We are in a maximum security facility, and you want me to run around and type something about to be or not to be? I said, bro, stop playing with me.
At first, I was a little skeptical about it because they was asking me to do things that I wasn't comfortable doing, like taking the mask off my face, you know, and being me. I presented that hard front. So nah, I don't want to walk around acting silly, and I think everybody else is doing it is foolishness. And then one day I found myself acting silly and enjoying it.
I remember first seeing a production in a chapel inside of Sing Sing Correctional Facility.
I'm confused. How would you know where the men's mess hall was if it's not in this book?
As I'm sitting there, I'm starting to recognize people. I said, hold on, I see this guy in the gym. I see this guy in the yard. These are prisoners up here.
I said to myself that I have to be a part of this program.
Did you assault Santiago with the intent of killing him? No, sir.
When they said that I'm in their program, I literally started crying because I'm like, I think that this is gonna save my life.
I'm gonna give me a break.
My son was maybe 7 at the time, and he had this love for the Scarecrow. So when the opportunity came to do the production of The Wizard of Oz, I said, I have to try out for the Scarecrow. That production was the first production that the department allowed families to see. And it was the first time my son saw me on stage. He loved it so much. There's footage of him dancing along when I'm dancing.
For me, it was like, all right, you have to put on a show, okay, in front of all of these people, and you have to remember that your daughter is watching.
Then could you help me get back home again? You got your silver slippers. They'll get you home in no time.
I just knew that I was gonna put on a play, it was gonna be great, and I was gonna have a nice time. But when we sung the song Home, it hit me because she'll be leaving there without me. And I didn't know how to handle that yet because I didn't think that far through. And RTA helped me get through the hardest and the most difficult time in prison, period.
Some of the things that you learn from RTA that really help you survive in prison is the communication skills. To be able to talk, to be able to express yourself. Because before I really got my vocabulary up, it seems like I only knew maybe 600 or 700 words, most. And once those run out, the next step is violence. But once I got involved, I'm able to express exactly what I'm saying. And I'm able to hear exactly what you're saying.
And I noticed that I was getting in less arguments, less disagreements. I wasn't getting so frustrated anymore. Learning how to channel my energy and motivate myself. And I began working with people I never imagined I'll be side by side working with.
For the first time in many people's life, including my own, we see and we act in a way that allows us to leave who we are behind, and we take on a role. When you become that new person, then you can understand a little bit about how you might have hurt others and how they felt. And that's a real awakening.
90% of the people that's in prison are coming home. They're gonna come home. They're gonna be standing next to you in the grocery aisle. They're gonna be standing next to you in the barber shop, car wash. They're gonna be on the train with you, on the bus. How do you want them to be?
I can do this, like I can show people how I feel through art.
So we hear them talk about their vulnerability in a place where it is dangerous to be vulnerable. And we hear them talk about their hesitation to appear silly or foolish. We hear them talk about the hesitation to lower the mask, to be real. We have some experience with this. And Brene Brown writes that vulnerability is the birthplace of love, belonging, joy, courage, creativity. It is the source of hope and empathy, accountability, authenticity. If we want greater clarity and purpose in our lives, more meaningful spiritual lives, vulnerability is the path. And one man spoke about his limited vocabulary and the impact that that had on his life. When we began these practices, many of us have had a limited vocabulary. So the joy of learning new ways to describe our experiences, the joy of becoming more skillful in our speech and in our ability to listen. And they share about their decision to engage and their process of engaging, whether they chose music or theater, visual arts, poetry. They stepped out of their everyday environment and stepped into an environment that was nurturing and safe. A refuge where they can take risks and learn and grow and be rewarded for courage and honesty. That's what we call a holding environment. We know that. Decision to engage in this program comes out of a yearning to tap into a fuller potential. And this clip, at least in my view, shows the joy that arose out of that choice. There are parts of us that are restrained and that we would love to release. We heard a man say, I get to leave myself and be in another role. And in doing this, he said, and he thought many, many people there begin to understand how we might have caused harm. That's the groundwork of compassion, that capacity to empathically reverse roles with another. And the joy of that dad dancing for his son, and the joy of that son watching his dad dance. The joy of the mom singing for her daughter. This clip expressed, I think, what we so often talk about and practice and orient toward. The joy of liberation and all the little steps along that way. The joy of discovering a higher hidden potential beyond perceived limitations. The joy of authenticity, the joy of connection. And as Lori spoke about so beautifully yesterday, the joy of transformation and the challenge and difficulty in that as well. So here are the last two stanzas of the song that the woman was singing, called Home, from The Wiz. Living here in this brand new world might be a fantasy, but it taught me to love. So it's real to me. And I've learned that we must look inside our hearts to find a world of love, like yours, like me, like home. Thank you, everyone, for listening. Now we have the opportunity to practice. So as we always do, let's take a few moments to open the bodies, to listen to what they are asking for, what they need. Maybe some swaying, some stretching, some side bending. Really letting yourself take time to listen. And slowly coming into a position that you are comfortable in, whether it's sitting or lying down. Take maybe a breath, a sigh. Yeah, just releasing a little and inviting some ease. And from the very beginning, just taking in the sitting with each other too, allowing the goodness of connection, of community to help soften. The practice of dwelling in good intentions, support, and encouragement. Arriving as we are. Maybe taking some deeper, fuller breaths. And noticing what is here for you, through you right now. Allowing the breath to find its natural rhythm. Natural or controlled, it doesn't matter. We are simply noticing. Full body breathing. Can you feel your hands breathing? The gift of breath. feel for the posture, for the support and stability that is available to you right now. Do you notice the subtle vibrating or pulsating? Tingling. This is aliveness. The gift of these bodies as they are. And inviting the busyness of the mind to relax, unwind. Invitation to drop down into the stream of body and breath and heart. The gift of these hearts and minds as they are. And if the mind is distracted or drifting, allow the breath to invite you back to this moment, the gift of this moment. And settling back a little more. Soften. What might soften? What needs to be released even a little? as if awareness is a dear friend waiting for you, inviting you back to this moment. As if the breath is a warm, gentle breeze, inviting you back home. And may you grow in your appreciation for the dear one who is sitting in your seat. Thank you for your presence. Thank you for your